Okay, so everyone's talking about disruption these days, right? But how much of it is actually, new?
It's a great question. It feels like a lot of it is just tweaking what's already there.
Exactly. Which is why we wanted to dig into Peter Thiel's 0 to 1. It's based on his Stanford lectures, co-written with Blake Masters.
Right, and Thiel has some really strong ideas about this. His whole mission, really, is about pushing people to create something totally fundamentally new.
He makes this core distinction right at the start, doesn't he, between 0 to 1 and 1 to n.
Yeah, exactly. 0 to 1 is like creating something out of nothing. The very first airplane or Google search, something that changes the game completely.
Whereas 1 to n is more incremental, like making a slightly faster car or another photo sharing app.
Precisely. It's taking something that exists and just making copies or small improvements. Thiel argues real value, the kind that builds massive companies, comes from that 0 to 1 leap.
Okay, so if you want to build something great, you need to aim for 0 to 1. But that leads to probably his most controversial point.
Ah, you mean the competition is for losers idea.
Yeah. And monopoly is good. I mean, that sounds wrong, doesn't it? We're always told monopolies are bad for everyone.
Well, his argument is a bit nuanced. He's not talking about, like, bullying competitors into submission.
Okay.
He sees companies like, say, Google and Search, or maybe Apple early with the iPhone, as monopolies because they created something so much better, so different, that they effectively had no competition for a while.
Ah, so the monopoly is a result of innovation, not the goal itself.
Kind of. He argues that being in that unique position, that monopoly space, actually lets companies focus. They can think long-term, invest in big research, plan for the future.
Instead of just constantly fighting rivals over tiny market share points.
Exactly. The goal shouldn't be to beat competitors. It should be to innovate so much that you escape competition altogether. Create your own market.
It's a radical shift in thinking. So how do you find these ideas that let you escape competition? He talks about secrets, right?
Yes, secrets. He believes progress happens when people uncover these secrets, truths about the world or technology that aren't widely known or are maybe even unpopular.
Okay, so not like spy stuff, but undiscovered potential. Overlooked ideas.
Right. Things hiding in plain sight, maybe. It pushes you to ask, what important truth do very few people agree with you on? That's where the secrets might lie.
And this connects to his idea of building foundations, not trends.
Definitely. He warns against just jumping on the latest bandwagon. Like he says, building the 100th food delivery app.
Right, the one-chin trap again.
Instead, he stresses having a definite plan, a long-term vision based on one of those unique secrets, something solid, not just chasing what's popular right now.
Makes sense. Build something lasting, and then how do you grow it? He has a specific strategy there, too.
Yeah, start small, then scale. Don't try to take over the world on day one. Find a very specific, small niche market you can completely dominate first.
Like Facebook, starting just at Harvard.
Exactly. Or Amazon just selling books initially. Master that small pond before you try to conquer the ocean. Nail the niche, then expand methodically.
And who leads this charge? This is where his founders matter point comes in, right?
Very much so. Thiel puts a huge emphasis on the founder. He believes that visionary individuals, people with really strong convictions and a long-term outlook, are critical for making that 0 to 1 jump happen.
Which kind of goes against some modern ideas about maybe flatter structures or consensus-driven decisions.
It can seem that way. He really values that singular driving vision, especially in the early stages of creating something truly new.
Okay, so we've covered monopolies, secrets, starting small, founder vision. It's a powerful set of ideas, but it's not without criticism, is it?
No, absolutely. Some people find the pro-monopoly stance problematic or maybe just idealistic, and the tone can sometimes feel a little dismissive of other approaches.
Yeah, maybe a bit elitist. And it's definitely more about a way of thinking than a practical step-by-step manual, wouldn't you say?
Totally agree. You won't find, like, a checklist for building your startup. It's more philosophical.
But what does work about it is the clarity, the boldness. It really forces you to question assumptions about business, competition, and progress. It gives you these deep insights from someone who's actually built and funded these kinds of companies.
Absolutely. It challenges that conventional wisdom. It pushes you, whatever field you're in, to think about what real innovation looks like. Is it just doing the same thing slightly better, or is it creating something the world hasn't seen before?
Right. It's about thinking differently, maybe more boldly, and with a clearer purpose. It makes you ask, what does innovation actually mean to you?
So the final thought to leave you with, maybe building on Thiel's idea, If the big breakthroughs come from these secrets, these overlooked truths,
Yeah.
what secret insight might you be holding on to? Or what convention could you challenge in your work, or even just in how you think, that could potentially lead to something genuinely new?